Okay. How's everybody doing today? As you know, I'm Juice Warner, and this is Old York Gritty. But we talk about everything under the sun as long as it's real, right? As you know, that's what the Masons do. They have you in a speculative state, right? And we don't deal with speculation here. So this is chapter 17, a glance at secretism, working under cover of odd fellowship. All right, it says, hold on a minute here. Oh, by the way, before we get into this, please do not hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell so you can be notified whenever new content is being uploaded, as well as hoping to make sure other people find out about this great information. And by the way, this is my book, Street Scalzi Knock 'em Out the Box. It's about two brothers on opposite sides of the law who must team up in order to find their father's killer or killers. See, Pernell Purple was a prominent businessman from Harlem, and when he was found on the side of the road, stabbed, it left, a bunch of people in shock. So his two sons on opposite sides of the law, one a New York City detective, along with his partner, must scour the streets for answers in order to prevent his brother from doing something crazy and turning the streets into an okay corral. So now that we got that out the way, let me slide into this. The following extracts are taken from General Law for the Government of Subordinate Lodges of Independent Order of Odd Fellows of the State of Michigan as amended to the close of January session 1868. View it as a huge swindle. All persons initiated into the lodge shall pay the sum of $5. The degree conferred by the lodge with their course shall be as follows: the white, $2, the pink, $2, the royal blue, $2, the green, $2, the scarlet, $3. No degree shall be conferred until after the candidate has paid the amount thereof, as fixed by these bylaws. Brothers admitted to membership by deposit of card from any other lodge shall pay the following rates according to their rank: the initiated degree, $2, the white, $2, the pink, $2, the royal blue, $2, the green, $2, the scarlet, $3. Any brother admitted to membership in the lodge as an ancient odd fellow shall pay the sum of $5. When a funeral benefit has been paid or the lodge made liable therefore, if there is less than $100 in the general fund, a sufficient sum to refund the amount necessary for the payment of the benefit shall be further forthwith assessed by the PS upon all members of the lodge equally, and such assessment shall be at once due at payable. Dues of dues of this lodge is to be $1 per term. No person shall be permitted to become a member of this lodge unless he is a free white male with under 20 not under 21 nor over 60 years of age, good moral character, who believes in a supreme being, the creator and preserver of the universe, be free from disease, and have some known reputable means of support. In addition to the above ways of drawing money out of men's pockets, there are several other methods. For instance, amount received for fines, amount received for regalia, for no brother shall be permitted to enter the lodge unless in proper regalia. Hence, those who prepare to sell such trappings for the big babies must make money fast, seeing there are so many big babies and they increase all the time. Nor will the merchants who deal in such wares fail to do what they can in case such babies, much less will they fail to charge them full price for such toys. Again, all such babies must be formed into lodges, and each lodge must pay a round sum for the charter. That is, having paid for the trapping, they must pay for the right to wear them. Nor does the matter end even here, for an ancient odd fellow whose card is out of date or which may have been lost, or a number suspended for non-payment of dues, who has been suspended more than 3 years, or a member of a defunct lodge not able to get a card, can be admitted as provided in Clause 4 by paying into the large fund a sum not less than $5. I find also very stringent laws binding the subordinate lodges to to send reports of all monies received with dues to the Grand Lodge. Now they can see it at a glance that the above laws are simply so many methods of obtaining money under false pretenses. To conceive any candidate, to convince any candid person of the truth of this statement is a further conviction is necessary. It is only necessary to ask a single question, namely, what is given in return for the money thus obtained? The swindlers themselves answer this question as follows. No member shall be entitled to the benefits of this lodge who is arrears for dues more than 13 weeks. Just think, he may have been paying for a lifetime, yet if he has ceased for the last 13 weeks, no matter for what reason, he has no claim upon the lodge, nor is this all. A brother who has neglected to pay his dues for such length of time as to be deprived by the rules of this lodge from drawing benefits while sick for not cannot be permitted while he continues sick pay his due so as to entitle him to benefits. Mark. He may pay the back dues, but even that will not entitle him to any benefits. That is, they can swindle him out of his money just as long as they could, and now he may die of hunger for all they care. They will not return a cent of what they received from him. And yet they have a daring effortry to call this benevolence a benevolent society. Yea, as being far more benevolent than the church of God. Well, as man will prefer such fraud and falsehood to Christ and the gospel, must abide the consequences. even the rules with regard to funerals, which they so much desire to conduct in their own way, thereby to give popularity to their order. They have so constructed as to save the money which they have already drawn from their dupes, and at the same time draw more from them. If there is less than 100 in the general fund, a sum necessary to meet the expenses of such funeral shall be forthwith assessed by the PS upon all the members of the lodge, and shall assessment and such assessment shall be at once due and payable. Thus, the pretended act of benevolence is simply made the occasion of prematurely, I think, I don't know, peremptorily, commanding their slaves to pay more money forthwith. Who does not see that all this pretended benevolence is barefaced robbery? Nay, they do not always stop here, far from it. For after shameful increasing the funeral expenses by their adulterous parade and show, they frequently leave the friend of the deceased to pay the whole. And anon, they trump up their benevolence after robbing both the dead and the living. Again, not only has the ancient Oddfellow and a member of a defunct lodge to pay a second time or be forever excluded, but a brother from any other lodge will be excluded unless he repeats the payment for the defunct degrees. The $13 which he may have paid for the 6 degrees in another lodge, and the degrees for which he paid them all go for nothing. He must pay over again, or the odd fellowship is all lost forever, simply because he changed his residence. Truly, this is odd fellowship. But should the brother come poor and be laid on a sick bed, after paying as aforesaid, what then? The answer is sick benefit shall be 10 cents per week. Really, benevolence here is as odd as the fellowship. If anyone should doubt the correctness of any quotations, I can only refer such to laws already named. The last quotations will be found on page 20, section 6. Nor let it be forgotten that none are received into odd fellowship but such as are not likely to need help. See the law on this point as quoted above. Hence, the swindler is just as big as they can possibly make it. But there are yet other ways of drawing money out of the pocket. When a worthy brother desires to withdraw from the lodge, he shall signify this desire in open lodge. And if he is clear of the books and be of good standings in the lodge, he shall be entitled to his card of clearance by paying 35 cents for the same. Again, when any worthy brother of this lodge may desire a visiting card, he shall, if clear of the books and be of good standing in the lodge, be entitled to it upon paying up his dues and company to the end of the time for which it is given, and 35 cents for the card. Thus, At every succeeding step and preceding payment are ignored and additional sums demanded. When the poor Roman Catholic has met the demand of the priest, although life has paid for pardon, indulgence, and company, yet when he comes to die, unless he pays for the extreme uncaution, all the preceding payments and promises go for nothing. Still, he is left to die without hope. Nor is this all, for even though he should pay for the extreme unction, uh, um, for and have the wafer put upon his tongue and his mouth and eyes and left and life closed together, still he is left in purgatory unless he pays for the masses. Just so oddship. All the preceding payments go for nothing unless the last demand is met, nor is that any better paid for than preceding. All this, so far as it goes, is masonry exactly. Look at it in its regular religious aspect. Like masonry, it excludes Christianity at the outstart. Belief in a supreme being, the creator and preserver of the universe. It is quite evident that this is designed to exclude the Christian belief from the large and embrace all other beliefs. I say embrace all other beliefs, for the atheist, a worshiper of Juggernaut, can have no objection to this belief being left as he is to his own fancy, as to who or what that supreme being may be. But this is entirely in keeping with the financial plan. For to the swindlers, the money of one man is as good as that of another. To require a belief in the Christian's God would diminish their funds very seriously. And a swindler will always avoid such ignoramus blunders, of course. The government, too, you will find to be equally Masonic. Take the following in proof. And the officers and members, to the officers and members of blank lodge, number blank, of the Independent Order of Odd Fellows. The petition of the subscriber respectfully showeth that he is desirous of becoming a member of your benevolent and honorable order. He has examined your general laws and bylaws and is ready and willing to yield obedience thereto. His age is blank years, his occupation blank, and his residency is blank. The petition is signed and thus pledges himself like the Mason to ready and willing the obedience to the unknown. And every after has simply to pay his money and render absolute obedience to his unknown rulers. Mark the following. Any member who shall violate any of the principles of the order or offended against these articles or the bylaws shall be subject to be fined, reprimanded, suspended, or expelled as the bylaw may direct. Ancient usage requires or the lodge determines. Observe, as in masonry, so here, whatever may be invented and commanded by the secret masters, either now or hereafter, is called ancient usage, custom laws. Verily, the word ancient has a very important place in the vocabulary of the secret brothers. It is evident, of course, that men who are accustomed to impose on their dupes as ancient laws that they are daily invented can have no regard of truth and will, in short, have scruples at no falsehood, nor will they be any other likely to scruples at the enforcement of their laws, however oppressive or murderous. There, there are three considerations which must largely contribute to the results, namely their own depravity and their secrecy, and the fact that the subordinate lodges have placed themselves under the entire control of their masters and pledged absolute obedience to them, and also that they will never divulge the secrets of the order, and the secrets of the order are the ancient laws and usages. As these terms embrace whatever is enacted, said, or done by the secret masters, so that the latter are entirely secure while the secrets are kept. And if any of the slaves should divulge the secrets of disobey in anything, then they will be dealt with as traitors. And as most of the rulers are Masons as well as Odd Fellows, both these orders will unite their efforts to take vengeance on the perjured villain. And all this is called the ancient, honorable, and benevolent. All this is called ancient, honorable, and benevolent. The further, as further illustrative of this iron rule, take the following. Should a lodge fail to make its return as required by the second section of the article for 3 successive terms, it shall thereby forfeit its charter and become extinct, and it shall become the duty of the last installed officer to transmit or surrender to the Grand Secretary or such other brother as may be appointed by the Grand Lodge to receive them. The charter, book, papers, fortune, furniture, and funds of the lodge. Thus, it is that those self-made masters compel their slaves to pay their money into the lodge, shut Christianity out of the lodge, and in short, demand absolute obedience in everything. And if that obedience is at any time refused, then the disobedient lodge is extinguished and its funds, furniture, and company all seized by the noble grand masters. Such are a few instances of the iron rule of these self-made rulers. But the question may still be asked, do the members of such secret orders give their money and and sell themselves and they expect nothing in return? we may answer this question by asking another. Does a gambler stake his money and expect nothing in return? No. Far from this, he expects both his own money and that of his neighbor also. But he does not always realize his expectations. Just so, the man who gives his money and sells himself to secret societies, and both the one who and the other know that if their expectations are realized, it will be by obtaining what belongs to their neighbor. The gambler stakes his money in hopes of obtaining that of his neighbor, while the other speculator gives his money and sells himself in hope of obtaining office, business, and company in return. And if he realizes his expectations, he is much worse than the common gambler. For the gambler whose money is sought may have money of his own, but the Lord certainly has nothing to give save what it takes from the rightful owner. And all this is called honorable and benevolence. Thus, falsehood, fraud, and hypocrisy run through the whole affair. Right? And that should be the end of chapter 17. Now, this was a short one, right? And I believe the next one should be probably as short. So I will be getting into that, and hopefully I'll be able to finish out the whole book today. Right. So, like I said, I'm Juice Warner. This is Old Jaw Gritty. This is my book, Street Scousy. And I would simply just request for you to hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so you can be notified whenever new content is uploaded or whenever I go live. I appreciate you for watching and have a good one, people.